Hey, free people. If you're someone craving calm, clarity, and a life that actually feels like yours, maybe you're going through some changes right now to make that happen and it feels a little like burnout. But what if it was just proof that you are outgrowing the life that you created? Watch this video and leave a comment below letting me know if this is you. I'm going to be saying some things that are going to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable at first. The truth is that you didn't burn out. You're not doing anything wrong. You outgrew the life that you built. And those are two very different things. Because if you believed that you burnt out, what you would do is you would try to recover and go back, get back in it, do what you need, eat the right food, exercise, get enough sleep, maybe read a self help book, and you'll recover and you'll go right back in and you'll feel good. You'll feel happy to get back. But that's not what's happening here. Because if you've outgrown the life that you've built, there's no going back. So, what does burnout say to us? What does it teach us and show us? It says, I can't. Burnout says, I've had enough. I can't. I need a break. I'm done. But outgrowing says, I don't want to. I'm tired. I'm done with this. I don't want this in my life anymore. They speak two different languages, but they're very similar. But this distinction is everything. What you'll find is that burnout depletes your energy, and you can go back and refuel, regroup. But honestly, in burnout, you can only do that so many times. If you continue to put yourself in positions where you are burning out again, it will be harder to go back and refuel and get back in the game. There will come a point where you can start to see a pattern that looks more like you're outgrowing the circumstance that you're in right now. And if this distinction is making sense to you, I'd love for you to put a comment below. Are you feeling burnt out and your energy building can work again and you can go back and do it again and you're happier for it? Or are you in a place of saying, I just don't want to do this anymore? And if you've thought that, but you suppressed it, I want you to keep listening. So the main differences are that in burnout, we're really depleting our energy. And when we're outgrowing, we're misaligned, right? So, in the tired and the burnout that I described a moment ago, where you can refuel and get back into it, maybe it was just a momentary, cold that set you back, or maybe you weren't hydrating, maybe you weren't exercising enough. But once you started implementing that and you got back into the groove, you were back and you were on fire and you're happy for it and feel re energized to do your work again, right? But if it's a case where you're really outgrowing, you may be able to do that. But in the back of your mind, you're saying, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. I don't know if I want this to be my life years down the road. I don't know if I want to retire from what I'm doing today in the years to come. In this case, where you're outgrowing, something will feel off. Something is still ruminating within your body that's saying, this isn't for me anymore. So I want to offer to you that you're not exhausted because you're incapable. You're exhausted because it no longer fits. So this isn't something that you have to evaluate or answer today. You don't need to know the answer today. So many times when we get to a place of not accepting that deep down we really want something different because maybe we don't want to disappoint others. Maybe you fear a loss of income, which obviously that's something to pay attention to, but it's a fear, but is it a realistic fear? But we have to start with understanding the distinction between a burnout and outgrowing. If we're outgrowing a former lifestyle that no longer fits us, and we know there's more growth to be had on the other side of that, there are some worries and fears and overthinking patterns that we can release in a particular way. So, the first thing to understand is that are you trying to fix something that isn't broken? It isn't broken to outgrow something. Nothing is wrong when you're keeping with the pace of your growth. You know the space that you're in right now is not your next level, and it won't serve you in the long run. Somewhere deep down, you know this is true. Like, for instance, you're insisting on believing that you're in burnout, and so you keep trying to repair your body and get back in, repair your body and get back in, knowing that that isn't going to fix the problem. This is what causes people to get really stuck. You start to notice that taking time off doesn't solve it. Maybe trying to change roles or have someone new to report to, that doesn't solve it. And pushing through definitely does not solve it. So, understanding, are you in a space right now where you're just trying to fix what's going on? You feel like you need to just repair the situation, make yourself right again, make better choices, ask more questions, talk with your mentor more. Are you trying to repair the version of your life that you have already outgrown? So the next point I want to talk to you about is the grief that we feel in this phase. I mean, after all, we've worked a very long time to get to where we are, to earn the income we have the vacation pay that we have, to have the freedom that we have, and the job that we have. So when you feel yourself drifting away from that, feeling yourself outgrowing the space that you're in within that experience, we feel like we're losing something. We're letting go of something that feels like a loss. And so honoring that space of validating where we were and where we're going. So it feels like there's a loss there. But I want to offer to you that you have actually invested a lot for this growth, a lot for this identity shift. You just didn't know that this was the way it was going to form, right? So you've done the work to get to this growth phase. You were good at what you've done in the past. You were very good at it. It gave you safety, structure, and recognition. So you feel like you're not just leaving a job, you're letting go of the version of yourself that once made a lot of sense. And this is not failure, this is expansion, and it feels different. So let's reframe your identity where you are today. In this expansion, growth in the beginning, growth is going to create a little bit of misalignment. It's new. It feels different. You're feeling something's off. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. You just know that things are shifting. You're moving away from old patterns, old environments that are still with you. You're still present in them, but you know that these environments aren't for you anymore. So a part of that misalignment is coming to the surface and it's showing you that it's time for a change. This is what evolution feels like. So outgrowing your life, your current life right now, is not a breakdown. It's what happens right before things are going to expand. But here's the part that makes this really, really hard. When you're in the middle of this, it doesn't feel like expansion. It just feels like confusion. What I want to share with you about the reset is that it's not a manifestation tool. It's not a meditation. Um, and it's not a mindset tool either. It's a clarity access tool. In other words, it's a tool that I have used that I turn to time and time again, now without even thinking, to listen for the clarity. And I've done it so many times now that I know what it feels like to be veering off alignment. I know what it feels like to be going into overthinking because the reset won't completely wipe you of ever overthinking again or ever pushing yourself too hard, but it will bring it to your attention much quicker than what you're facing right now. Get the reset, a free reset, and then I would invite you to try that reset and pay attention to the feelings that go through your body. Any thoughts that come up, allow them to come up and accept them. and then just go back to listening to the audio. So the other thing I want to remind you of with the reset is that the reset is not a tool to help you figure things out. That is not the point of the reset. It can be used for that, but that is not the only purpose. It's to help you come back to a place where your own clarity is accessible. Once upon a time, I mean, I don't think I even remember this phase very well, but once upon a time when we were children and we were little, we knew what we wanted and we asked for it. We had that clarity. We felt something in our body that made us want something. And so we would go and get it. We've lost that sense of connection with knowing what we want and then going to it, toward it, walking toward it, being open to getting it because we want it and expecting that we will get what we want. And this tool helps you to find that space where that clarity becomes accessible again. Because when your system is overwhelmed, and at this phase in life, we've faced many years of overwhelm and tension and overthinking, and all of that is still is what has developed us to where we are today, but it's also something that just kind of stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks unless we have a way to flush those things out and let them go and release them so that we are clear again for that accessibility. It's a very simple way to create enough space for that clarity to come through without forcing it. And trust that you are in the right space right now where you know something isn't right, but you can't quite name it. And in my experience and in my client's experience, the reset helped to get to the place to be able to name it. Do let me know how you feel about the reset, if it helped you and if it guided you, or if you just have questions. So I invite you to click the link below and let me know how it worked for you. And if you are starting to realize that this really isn't about burnout, that maybe you really have just outgrown the life that you've built, then the next question actually becomes, what are you still not free from? That's what we're going to talk about next in the next video. See you there.